All right. Since Tepper is mainly focused on TFT about high school football, that's his area of expertise. He is a huge college football fan, but he doesn't get to talk about it as much.
I really don't. No.
So
Pickle reins me in. She's like, no college football talk. That's Republic of Footballs.
Yes. So in this That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana crossover episode that we got, Greg Tepper wants to talk a little bit about his big hot takes for the Texas college football season coming up. So Tepper, lay it on us.
Okay, I got a couple of hot takes that I just like. I don't get an opportunity to talk about college football with experts like you guys very often, and so I wanted to issue a couple of hot takes and just I want you to try them on for size. If you like them, keep them. If not, send them on back. Okay. My first hot take, and I issued this on Texas Football Today a couple weeks ago, but I'll say it again. My first hot take is that I think Texas Tech is going to be the surprise of the Big 12. I think they are going to be the dark horse in the Big 12. I almost went so far as to say that I think they're going to play in the Big 12 title game, but I don't think that's the case. But I think that when the Big 12 media poll comes out, they're going to end up being like 8th or like big in that big middle, and I think they're going to be an upper tier Big 12 team for a couple of reasons. But first of all, I want you guys to just try that on for size.
No, I like that.
I like it too. I thought last year everyone thought Texas Tech was going to be the dark horse Big 12 contender, and it always felt just a year too early based off them beating Texas and Oklahoma. So I like it for this year.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other reason why I like it, okay, and why I'm into that. For Texas Tech, I want you to go to their schedule.
I have it pulled up right here. I was just about to say that.
Let's play the schedule game. Everybody loves the schedule game.
Schedule game.
Go ahead. Okay.
It's very favorable.
Very favorable.
Very, very favorable, right? So their non-conferences are ACU at home to begin the season.
Should be a win. They'll be favored.
They go to Washington State.
Who
knows what Washington State's going to look like?
I think they're going to go to Pullman and beat them. I really do. I think that now they have not been. The last time we saw them go to the Great Northwest, they lost to Wyoming on the road. So, like, certainly recent.
I also think this is a better team than last year. I also
think they're better than they were last year, and I think Washington State's going to take a step back. So
but if they do win that game, they will need to have bucked two trends, which is one, early season Texas Tech under Joey McGuire. They do not start well in the first 2 years, and on the road, Joey McGuire.
On the road, Joey McGuire is a real question for sure.
Yeah.
Now read game 3 out.
We can skip game 3.
No, what's game 3? September 14th.
Wow, you've got that memorized. North Texas will travel to play Texas Tech. That's an early game, though, so that's
the nation's worst rush defense against Taj Brooks.
I think there's a chance that Taj Brooks trebuchets North Texas into the sun. It could be very bad.
That could get.
What's next, Mal?
They have Arizona State at home, which
interesting, but
that's
at home.
Interesting,
but I think at home should be a win.
They have Cincinnati at home.
Cincinnati's
that should be a dub.
That's a win.
They go on the road to play Arizona. That could be a tough one.
Real interesting. Arizona's a real wild card, I think, in the Big 12. They're in that same vein. That's like a matchup of my two Big 12 darlings. So that's a real turn game to me.
But they're also favored in every game before this.
For sure.
What are they, 5-0?
Yeah.
Right.
So what's next?
Right. They get Baylor at home.
Should be a win.
They go to play TCU. Now, I think
that's a winnable game.
It's a winnable game. I think TCU's kind of a wild card. I think it's a very even matchup there.
Yeah, for sure.
So that could be a coin flip there. They play at Iowa State. Now, that one always gives them trouble.
At Ames is tough, but
it's tough.
Are we certain that Iowa State's going to be good? How sure are we that Iowa State's going to be good?
It doesn't even matter how good Iowa State is going to be because one game in Ames, anything can happen.
For sure,
correct.
Absolutely. But
then they host Colorado, which who knows what Colorado is going to be. But
I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to win pretty handily.
I think so too. They play at Oklahoma State.
This is where it turns. Okay, to me, if like we've gone through all these games, you have to get to the 11th game of the season, the 11th game where you are sure, you are absolutely positive that they are significant underdogs.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying. So I think you look at the schedule for Tech, and I think it lays out beautifully for them. They don't play Utah.
Or Kansas State. They don't play two of probably the top dogs in the Big 12 right now.
Exactly right. They don't play either of the two best teams in the Big 12, in my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, there is a reasonable scenario, and part of it is just that the Big 12 is so unpredictable. There is a situation where, like, I sent a DM to Craven at one point when I was reading his stuff, and I go, dude, is Tech going to be 10-0 going into Stillwater? They're not. I want to be clear. They're not going to be 10-0. But, like, would it surprise you if they were 8-2?
Look, there's going to be 2 losses, but find me those 2 losses. I don't know which ones they are.
Which ones are you sure? Yeah. There's too many coin flips for them to run the table on those, but I think they're going to be better, and I think that they've got an opportunity to be the real dark horse of the Big 12.
I like your theory, but it all does hinge on the health of Baron Morton right now, because I don't think they have a backup capable yet of carrying them on the season. And I'm going to say something. Baron Morton posting the Twitter video of him throwing a pass in the indoor when all of this speculation is out about his health of his shoulder and him going to Florida to get it worked on. I was not like, wow, I'm convinced Brady Morton's back.
That's fine. Also, Will Hammond hive. I'm Will Hammond stan, okay?
I like Will Hammond.
Go Hippos.
Go Hippos.
Just saying.
Oh, represent.
Okay, so what do we grade that hot take, Mallory?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an A-.
I like A. I'll give you an A.
All right, that was a good one.
Not an A+, not an A-, but an A. I agree with you on pretty much everything.
My second hot take for the college football experts.
Did you like my lower third?
Thank you.
I
love it. Thank you. I have to look at the program. Second hot take. We will have 3 new FBS head coaches in 2025. So the 13 coaches right now, 3 of them at least 3 of those teams will have different coaches in 2025.
I can think of 2 right off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah. Flaming hot, scorching hot seat is Dave Aranda.
Correct.
Make or break year is Mike Bloomgren at Rice.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Who's the third?
Can I tell you?
Let's try and guess. I want to try and guess.
Let me guess.
Okay.
It's not going to be Eric Morris. It's too early for that, I think.
I would agree.
Is it going to be somebody? Okay. I think I might know. And this might be for a different reason.
I know who it is.
Do you think it's going to be G.J. Kinney?
No.
Rhett Lashley?
No.
Wait. No, it might be.
Okay,
so here's the thing.
I was thinking it was going to be a different, because they're getting poached for a better job.
So you're on the right track.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. You're going off poach for a better job, or are you just going off isn't going to be there because of performance?
I'm saying they're going to have a new head coach in 2025.
New head coach. So that's why I was like,
Texas State, I would put them up there too.
Yeah.
I think so here's the thing. I think you guys are spot on. Okay? I think Dave Aranda, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos scene of the week, right? It's very hot.
Blatantly obvious.
For Mike Bloomgren, I think that, and we're all big fans of Bloom, I think that this is a huge year for them, especially, and this is an underrated thing, new athletic director. Okay,
yes.
New athletic director.
People forget.
Massive win. They got to win. I think they got to win 7 games. I think they got to win 6 games minimum in order to get.
I would go. They have to win 7. He's gone better every year.
He's got to improve. Absolutely. That to me is silly, because I think we can get into a whole Rice conversation. The other one, I think you've got a variety of options. Okay, I think Rhett Lashley could get poached. I think G.J. Kinney could get poached.
Jeff Traylor?
I think Jeff Traylor may leave for Baylor.
Oh, I did think about that.
I think Jeff Traylor may leave for Baylor.
That is an interesting domino.
Yeah,
there are a variety of different opportunities here to find that third. Right now, if you were to say, I'm going to lock in Dave Aranda, I think I like Dave Aranda a lot, but the wins have not been there, and they do not look like a contending team, which is probably going to be his downfall. Mm-hmm. I think for Bloomgren, it's 50-50 at best right now because of the expectations there with the new athletic director. And then I think you've got 3 or 4 different options to find that third one that I feel good that one of those is going to hit.
Look, if Texas State goes on to win the Sun Belt like some in our offense are predicting, I don't think G.J. Kinney's there next year.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Yeah,
and by the way, if Baylor opens up, G.J. Kinney's phone's going to ring.
Jeff
Traylor's phone's going to ring, right? I mean, Rhett Lashley, it is an ACC job. He probably wouldn't leave for ACC to Big 12,
right? I would say more
because he was floated around to Arkansas a little bit before that happened.
But
that didn't happen.
There are going to be phones that are ringing there, and to me, that leads to I end up landing on the 3 number. Could be as many as 4 or 5. If things go crazy, we could have that. I mean,
so this is more of like an over/under type of
thing. I'm saying that I think right now I would set the over/under 2.5, and I'm thinking it's over.
I feel like it's much more volatility going into this year than it was last year.
I agree. Okay. So how do we grade that hot take?
I'm going A.
I'm going A+ on that one.
Guys, the takes are flying. You guys should have me on your show more often.
Yeah, no, wait till this next one though.
I'm turning your mic off at this point.
Don't silence him for his last
and I'm about to win some friends and influence people, okay? I think the state of Texas is getting shut out of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, this is where the report card gets a big black mark for me.
I am, because here's the thing. I want you to run through, 12 teams, right? And let's be real. Okay? Let's be real about what the college football playoff is intended to do. They did not expand to 12 teams so that Appalachian State could get into the playoff.
No.
They did not expand it so that Louisiana Monroe could have a spot in the playoff.
They want the best teams.
They did it so that they could add more SEC and Big Ten teams.
The best teams, the biggest brands.
Absolutely.
Correct.
That's what they're going for here. So let's be real about this, okay? We can speak honestly. We are all adults, unless there are children watching, in which case I apologize for this. What I'm saying is there are 2 teams in Texas that I think that we would say people are banking on to get in there. The first is Texas, okay? A lot of hype around Texas. Obviously, a run to the college football playoff last year, a lot coming back, including their quarterback. They feel good. Texas recently has not been a great front runner. They are also entering, let's be real, a tougher league. They won their conference 100%. Last year, but they are now going to have to deal with Alabama.
Yep.
They play Georgia, right?
Yep.
They're going to have to deal with Georgia.
They actually don't play Alabama, but they'll be hovering.
Yeah. They have to play Georgia. They play Notre Dame.
Well, here's the thing,
not
too.
Notre Dame. Who do they open with? Michigan. They play Michigan.
That was about to say that. Is like these non-conference games mean so much more now.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
They play Michigan. That's tough.
It is not, to me, I think people have just penciled in Texas to one of those things. And the brand will help them, certainly. They are one of the teams in Texas that the brand is going to help them, that if they're an edge case, they're going to get in. They got to get to that edge case first. And there are some questions I have for Texas. I don't think they're a sure thing. Texas A&M's on that list, right? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, a take to go off of that a little bit is that I think you could say the same thing about SMU.
Uh-huh.
If they were still in the AAC, I think we can all agree that they would run the table. I think they would win the AAC again, and then I think they would be put into the college football
And they would
playoff.
get one of those, I think they would get the at-large, or not the at-large, but like they would be one of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions.
Correct.
And they would get in.
The highest-ranked group of 5 team is the sole team in the college football playoff. That'll be the only mid-major G5 team.
And I think SMU was that last year. I really did. Regardless of Liberty, all of that noise, I really think that they were the best G5 team.
I think they would have been.
I don't know about this year.
But moving into the ACC is going to be a more difficult lift.
Correct.
They're going to have to, we don't know how they're going to do that. So SMU is in that mix. The only other team in the big brand conferences, and I'm not saying this as a negative, I'm saying this as a reality, is Texas A&M in the SEC, right? The Big 12 right now, in my opinion, it's a group of 2, and then there's like 2 or 3 conferences in this kind of big middle, and then the rest of the conferences.
Right.
Texas A&M has a ton of questions. Moving. A new coach. They've got a ton to replace on the defensive side. I think the defensive leadership is really, we have big questions about that. I think what Edgerrin Cooper did for them last year was really important, and they have to replace that. Not only the production, but the leadership there. They have an entirely new wide receiver core. They're losing their center, which I think is really important. They have big questions, and I think that they're going to be a real sexy pick to make the college football playoff, and I could see them having a good year, but still going like 8-4 and getting and people being like, hey, Elko, I think there'd still be a lot of optimism in College Station, but I think that it may take a little bit of time.
I agree.
So that's the 2 brand names. So then you are banking on a team to basically win the Big 12, right? I think
it's going to be 1 or 2, maybe 2.
I think Utah and Kansas State are the 2 best teams in the conference.
Yep.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
If those 2 teams are in the Big 12 title game, then there's probably not going to be TCU, it's probably not going to be Houston, it's probably not going to be Tech, right? Not going to be Baylor. So then who are you going for? You're going for SMU, right? To win the ACC. Not sure that's going to happen. I just think that when you take a look and you go school by school, there's a lot of pressure on Texas and maybe an outside shot for SMU or Texas A&M to do that. And to me, picking Texas to play to their paper in recent years has just not been a safe bet.
When I think of Texas, I don't think, they play to their expectations.
Yes.
They don't.
That's all I'm saying. I want 12 Texas teams in the playoff, to be clear. This is not me rooting. This is me saying, I'm looking at the landscape.
The Dave Campbell's tournament.
Yeah, exactly. I want the Dave Campbell's tournament. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, I think that we are really underestimating, I think we're really overestimating the chances that Texas gets a team in. I think there's a good chance that they're left out of the first round.
I don't disagree, but the one area I'd push back on is if you're going to say Texas Tech is the Big 12's biggest surprise, I think that conference is so wide open that the biggest surprise won't be going from a 7 to a 4 seed or a 3 seed. So if Texas Tech was the biggest surprise, they would be in the Big 12 championship with a chance to win.
That's fair.
Then they might be your team.
That's fair. It could be like a team we're not thinking of. You know what I mean? It could be one of those teams that they're really good time. I mean, heck, there is I don't want to go crazy. But SMU.
Let me roll it back.
I thought that through. But SMU, I think, is that team that there's so much we don't know about their new conference landscape that I have a hard time really jumping on and being like, yeah, they're going to win the ACC.
I also think theoretically
Clemson and Florida State live there.
I also think that those teams aren't nearly as good as they were last year too. I mean, that might be.
That's fair, but I also think that
which teams? The ACC teams?
Clemson and Florida State.
Yeah, but I also think that the AAC, the jump from the AAC to the ACC is maybe steeper than we give it credit for.
I think you're
right. That's what.
The AAC had 9 of the 14 teams with a losing record. Basically, it was not a good league last year, which makes me think going into this year, the Sun Belt has the opportunity to cement itself as maybe the top G5 conference, and if the Bobcats down in San Marcos win the Sun Belt like some are projecting,
you heard it here first. 13,
Texas State.
13-0 UTEP in the playoff.
Well,
the Blue Blaze offense, baby.
Sam Houston.
Wait, no, that's this. This is UTSA. This
picks up. Picks up is backwards.
That's right.
Picks up, baby.
That's the one.
All right, I'm gonna give that take a B-.
Fine. Mallory.
Yeah, we'll go B-.
All right. Okay.